What's up, Twitch? What's up, YouTube? This is FJ, and this is BrackCast number 83. Let me just make sure that's running, and that is. And today, yeah, I'm not gonna say right away like the title is a bit. I'm not gonna say controversial, but the title is Wage Gap versus Stay-at-Home Mom, and it's like more so directed asking this question for single women. And I know that those two categories aren't necessarily mutually exclusive, but I was watching a video today of Abba and Preach again. I like their content. They were reacting to this video that you can see on the screen right now. This video, I'll have the link in the description, is from Courtney Ryan, and she's asking women about male income expectations. What is enough? And yeah, you can see here 650K is one of the answers that was given. Uh, I think it's assumed that these women, I don't know if these women are going to give their age, but yeah, rather than react to Abba and Preach's reaction, because they had good insight already, I feel like Deji, we will have our own kind of take just listening to the content straight. It's long though, it's 47 minutes. I don't think we're going to be like watching it straight, but we'll see where it goes. Yeah, sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything you want to say? How you been?
No, I'm curious to see what the video says.
Okay. Well, first, like wage gap. We've heard about this. Everyone knows like the issue. Like you want to make sure that in, I guess, more in like the business world, that if the same level of work, the same amount of work is being done, it doesn't really matter what your gender or sex is. Like if the production is the same, then it should be paid the same, right? Like that makes sense. It's not necessarily, like I said, wage gap versus stay-at-home mom isn't necessarily like mutually exclusive categories. The reason why I'm bringing them up in the title though is like, how many women nowadays do you think want to be stay-at-home moms? Like in your head, like, do you think most single women right now, like in their 20s, maybe if they got to their 30s, what do you think, man? Do you think most of them want to be stay-at-home moms, or do they want to be like
Stay at home mom.
self-made men, self-made women?
Well, I think like first of all, it depends what region of the world you're asking this question.
Okay,
Because I feel
true.
like in the Western world, it's a lot more celebrated to be like an independent,
You're a bit far
like
from your mic or
married woman.
something. It's a little
Sorry.
quiet, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. In the Western world, it's like more celebrated to be, um, you know, more like do your own thing, make your own business as a woman.
Hmm.
I'm not. I can't say for sure that's the same on the other side of the world, but I feel like that's the message here.
Okay.
Um,
So you think we should? Yeah.
it's almost like the message is now even predominantly like you don't really need a man type thing. So
Okay.
I feel like
In the Western world, right? North America.
yeah,
So that's a good caveat. Like we will only focus on this kind of analysis based on maybe Western expectations. So you're saying too. Want to wait? You gotta go somewhere.
no, well my battery's gonna die, but it's okay.
You
Keep
want to
going.
plug in? I was gonna ask you like, of the Western world, then, like, you think the vast majority of women, or not even women, let's say girls now, like from when they start to be teenagers, growing up to become adults, that the values being taught at home generally is like go out there, follow your dream, like find a career, make something of yourselves independently.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
think so.
you don't think like the whole value of like do you think parents these days are still kind of pushing any kind of like the old school tradition of like women stay home, like have a family?
Well, maybe that's still going on from their parents' side of things, but the stay at home mom thing is usually tied to some sort of connection to a man, where the man
Right.
is like the provider type thing, and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a lot of women are really look. I mean, obviously there's a percentage that is,
Yeah.
but I feel like the message that's popular right now is, hey girl, go do your thing, get your own money. Um, yeah.
Okay. So, with that, do you think for any women right now, single, let's say, that obviously for making this, it's kind of tying into the dating scene, like this whole subject. But is there a limit to age for a single woman to still want to be a stay-at-home mom?
Is there a limit to age?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, let's say you graduate from school, whatever it may be, from late teens to early 20s. You graduate school and you want to be a stay-at-home mom, right?
Okay.
So if you find a husband, then kind of works out, right? Because the man kind of takes that role at that point. But then let's say you're not finding somebody in your early 20s, so then your mid 20s come, maybe your late 20s come. How are you sustaining that livelihood? Are you staying at home with your parents? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do after school if you want to be a stay-at-home mom but you can't find a man?
Well, I mean, I think at that point it's like, because what I'm getting is, as a girl, woman, whatever, if you're in your early 20s and you have this desire and you don't get it at that time, you still have to like figure out your own shit in the interim.
Yeah.
So like
So
you still have to like work, or like like you said, stay with your parents, get your own job. But I think the goal would still be to put yourself in a position where you could secure, you know, financial security with a male partner, whatever.
yeah.
Right?
All right, I'm gonna press play. We'll see how this opens
Okay.
up.
So my expectations are not realistic.
I don't want a Hugh Hefner. Trust me, I rather just be single. Thank you, though.
Well, somebody's gonna have a sugar mama.
If your wife
Oh,
can
I can't hear
spend
it.
more
Hold
than
on.
you make, like you
Oh.
need to make.
You can't hear it?
Not on Discord, but I'm watching it on Twitch.
Uh,
You just
right click the screen and maybe your volume is low.
it's okay. You can just play it. I'll play it on my TV.
You want the link, maybe? Well, yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but okay. Oh, there we go.
More money. So I was just having this.
Did you hear
If your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more money. So
I was just having this conversation with my friend, and she was like, you have to manifest a husband, girl.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we have a group of girls back with us. If you've never seen any of these girl videos that I've done in the past, what I do is bring on other women to get other women's perspectives. If you guys are a subscriber to my channel, you probably know where I stand on a lot of these topics. I have 400 videos covering my thoughts and opinions, but I think it's really enlightening and interesting to get the opinion of other women who maybe don't have a platform, or who, maybe don't talk about these topics or even think about these topics, be good
Okay.
or bad, honest,
Okay.
non-male. And what is
Thank
the
you.
ideal
Here we go.
statistics for
Thank
them?
you, Courtney.
And we're gonna get through this together. So let's get started. What is the ideal age for a guy that you are looking to be with?
So I just turned 27, so like 3 years older than that. So I would say between like 31, maybe 32, just depending on like when their birthday is.
So
wow.
I'm 27, and I would say I would want them to be older. So like my range that I look for is 28 to 35.
I think anyone within 3 to 5 years, either way, but probably older. Yeah,
Okay, so maybe 33,
potentially.
if you had to choose.
There's a lot of mature. This is just recently. There's a lot of mature people at the end of their 20s who I think I have good chemistry with. So I wouldn't and then there's people in their 30s, even in their early 30s, who act like they're so they got a bum knee and stuff. And I'm like, okay, but I don't feel broken yet. You can't go for a run with me. Just go down a weight at the gym. I don't get it. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
Okay,
to
do we
say.
want to go somewhere in the middle, maybe 30?
Yeah.
Okay, 30, we'll
Yeah.
just go with your age.
I really like 28 to 36 max, or 37 max. Matured. They're not really looking. There's less of a chance that you'll find somebody who is just looking to play games.
Okay,
So
you're
I'm
basically
pretty
20.
young.
At the time of this video,
Gonna be 24 in November.
24,
Okay,
and she's
So
looking.
I'm pretty young.
at the time
Okay.
this video comes out, you'll be 24.
Okay.
So if we have to pick one age, you said between 28 and 36. Would we say like 32?
Yeah, I would say 30. No, probably like 30 is perfect to meet them, and then we can get married when they're like 32.
I feel like the bracket that I'm normally looking at, or the roster, I guess, I don't know, between like 29 and like, I don't know, 37, 38, I guess, because I just feel like all guys that are honestly between 24 to 28, you know.
Okay. So we're getting to like a general kind of thing. These women are anywhere between mid to late 20s, and their ideal guy is around 30. And they attribute that to maturity, and also like less likely to play. And then we'll get into any comments on that. What do you think? It seems about normal, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, guys, women generally go for guys older than them, and I guess the older they are, the less likely they're settling for men their age. It's I'm curious to see what she's about to say about the 24 to 28-year-old range. But let me just grab my charger. 2 seconds.
Yeah. I wasn't aware this thing was going to be so like long. I guess when Abba and Preach when they did their reaction video, it was condensed quite a bit to just maybe some of the key things that were said. But hopefully we can kind of like skip through so it doesn't have to be so long. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to hear what she has to say? Okay.
Don't really want anything serious at all.
I would say 27.
Okay, and how old are you?
23.
I would have to say the person that I would marry right now would probably have to be between 32 and maybe 43.
Okay.
Between like 30 and 40s. Yeah, I'm 28. So I feel like the person I'm with needs to be a lot more mature than me.
Okay. So do we want to go like 37? Just
Yeah,
to go somewhere
I would
in the middle?
definitely be with a 37-year-old.
Okay. So
For
we'll
sure.
we'll take that as the number.
Okay.
Thinking of your future, what % of the family income do you personally want to contribute? Like, do you want to be the breadwinner? Do you want to contribute 50-50? Do you want to be a stay-at-home wife or mom?
I would be comfortable contributing 50-50,
Okay.
but I would prefer that it be more so like 40-50.
Okay.
Like me
40-60?
contribute-
Like you
Yeah.
the 40, them the 60?
Yes.
I'd be okay with. I never thought of this. I don't know. These weren't the things that I fixated on the most when I envisioned my partner. But if I had to throw it out there, like maybe half or a little under half, I'm probably.
We'll go 50-50 top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. So I personally, I would not mind contributing like majority, but I would say no more than 70% of household income.
Wow.
So I really want to be a stay-at-home mom. So like, if that doesn't work out with the person I'm with, then it doesn't work out. But that is like how I picture myself as a mom and a wife. So I guess I wouldn't be contributing financially.
I don't want any of my income to be needed in the family. I want the man to be 100% the supporter, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to work and I'm not going to have my own business or whatever.
But you would want the family to be able to live solely off of your
Yes,
husband's income.
100% solely off of my husband.
Okay, did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on that? Like, this isn't the first time I've heard this, where the woman still wants to earn and make money, but they don't want any of that income to be part of like the necessity part of the family. It's like what they earn is their disposable income, and then the man has to be 100% of what's actually needed for bills, mortgage, food, clothing, school, kids, all that.
Okay.
Have you heard that before?
You know what? Like in the Nigerian culture, that's actually like quite common.
Okay.
Where like the man or like the patriarch is like he basically like pays for everything. Because but in the same sense, like Nigerian culture is also very like sexist, where like traditionally like the woman didn't really have like any say in anything.
Right.
So it's not the first time I'm being exposed to that. I guess like when you in the context of how she's phrasing it, I can see how that would come off as like you know um, not a great arrangement for like some men. Um,
But
but
again,
at the same
we're
time,
we're regarding these women not from Nigerian culture. That's North American
hmm
culture, right? So is that
hmm
like in the eye of a North American culture? Is that like, are we looking at fairness here, or like?
no, that's literally was what I was about to say. Like because obviously we're dealing in this society in this context. Like men would not be comfortable with that.
Hmm.
And I feel like yeah, there is a lot of pushback about um, this desire for equality from women,
Hmm.
but you know them seeming to kind of pick and choose, what they are traditional about and what they aren't. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah, like guys would not really be about this, in this society.
Yeah.
But there would be some guys that would be, because they have that
Yes.
income, and it'd be
Yes.
like, yo, whatever,
Yeah.
So like
They have to have already
like
reached.
both,
They had to have
yeah,
already
like
reached that
both.
income, right?
And I feel like that's the only scenario in which they would be comfortable with that. It's like, yo, I already
Hmm.
made my whole shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, you can come party type thing,
If the guy is
Um,
like, you know, what kind of for the remain this girl, I think she said she was 24 by the time this video was released, and she was willing
mhm.
to go up to, I think she said like 30 or something. This one anyway,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Um, so a man at 30, do you think would be willing to get in a relationship with someone who expects this
Oh, for sure.
at 30?
Well, if this man that we're talking about has the means, right?
Yeah, but like
Because I feel like that.
what kind of man at 30 can make that much?
Well, that's a deeper conversation because now we're talking about like some class shit, and like the the level of um like how many women target like such a specific amount of men that do have the means like that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, that both of these conversations are kind of parallel, but like I get what
Okay.
you're saying. What kind of man at 30 would have,
Yeah.
all this disposable income in this regular society,
Hmm.
It would have to be like an outlier type thing, but
And,
yeah, man,
and
that's
and
that's
and
that's
you'd
what's
have to
going on
look
right now.
at this too. Well, they'll touch on this later too, but like at 30, making bank, what kind of man wants to settle down at 30 making bank, right? So
Right?
I'm gonna press play.
Yeah.
Don't want me to have to use my income at all, but that's not because I'm not going to be working or I'm not going to have my own stuff going on. It's just because I want the freedom to be able to take care of my kids for the first 7 years of their life. I want to be a stay-at-home mom and be with them basically 24/7. I think that's important in the family structure, so that's pretty much the only reason why.
Okay, so you would choose stay-at-home mom. So 0% we'll say.
Yes.
Okay.
I think 50-50 is definitely acceptable.
And I wonder what that girl's
I wouldn't
background is.
enjoy.
The
Because I
previous
think
one.
that factors in. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like you have to think about it too. Like it is the Western world, but there's a lot of multicultural influences that go into a lot of these thinking, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm noticing it seems like there's a specific demographic that's like, yeah, I'm cool with 50-50. Like a lot of the, I guess white women before were like, yeah, I'm cool with 50-50. But I wonder what culture that girl is.
Well,
Anyway, sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, and like we you start to speculate are they also coming from like a wealthy background? Like, were they raised wealthy? You know, because like, how does one reach this level of like, where it's like, okay, like it's totally okay to have this expectation, and it's like, we'll come down to it too, like in terms of, you know, women, are the majority of women seeking the top 1 or 10%, and it's like, because that's what the man can bring to the table, but then what is the majority of these women bringing to the table too? Like, isn't this supposed to be some level of exchange? What's being given up, what's being sacrificed for the sake of higher income or less contribution financially? Like, is there a trade-off? You know, like, what we're gonna get to see, like, maybe like their perspective on like how highly they place themselves, like, of like
They get into that in this.
I believe so. Yes. There we go.
Joy feeling like someone has to take care of me. I don't like relying on people or men or really anyone for money. I think that's
cool.
totally just
I appreciate that.
unacceptable. That's just how I was raised.
If I'm painting a picture, if it's my ideal life, I would love to just be a stay-at-home wife with some hobbies and, you know, raising a family, because that's just the way I grew up. You know, I had a stay-at-home mom, and it was just a really good environment to have.
There.
Okay, so ideally, that's what you would want.
Yeah, a lot of his upbringing too.
Now, I want to talk about your ideal lifestyle. So, thinking about a house, how many bedrooms, how many square feet, what are we thinking?
I mean, I don't need anything, you know, crazy spacious, but I definitely do want a big enough home where everybody can have their own, you know, individual selves and space to feel comfortable. So just depending on lifestyle and family, at least 3 to 4 bedrooms for sure, 2 full baths, because God forbid there's more than one girl in the house. That'll be drama. And definitely like a big backyard. So at least 5 acres, you know, to roam on is
5
what I
acres.
aspire to have.
She must have grown
And
up in
then
like a farm.
square footage on a house, I really don't even know how to like scale something like that. I don't, like 4,000 to 5,000 square feet, maybe.
Okay, what you described sounds close to that.
Like that. If I need to go bigger, obviously, you know, we'll go bigger. That's no question. But just a nice, comfortable size
question.
home.
Okay, and then how many kids do you want?
2 to 3. If
Okay.
2 boys and a girl would be ideal.
Okay, and what about a car? I know you like cars.
Yeah, if it could be anything, you know, if it's my dream, it'd probably be a Pagani BC, which is like a hypercar. But
I don't even know what that is.
oh my gosh, they're so
Do you know what a
sexy.
Pagani is?
So
Well, I looked at. Well, I saw what it was after.
Bro,
you-
that shit is nuts. That shit is not even like legal in some fucking
Well,
states or some shit.
I will. You know, the stipulation was like in her ideal dream kind of a thing. It's not like realism.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently the car that
It's
she
a
just
crazy
mentioned
car.
is like $2.1 million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It looks like a spaceship. It looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, man.
So- all
I
right.
used to have the Pagani Zonda as like the most expensive car in the Gran Turismo 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
I only played up to 2. All right. So
that would be.
How much is that car?
I don't even know. Probably at least like 1.5 mil for
No.
sure.
Oh my
At
God.
least.
too
I
low.
don't
Okay,
even
so
know.
what about not the dream car, but
Something more realistic that
yeah,
I would get.
just to give us a
Listen
ballpark,
to
like
this.
a kind of
Yeah.
range.
realistic.
maybe like some sort of like F12 Ferrari, like an A12 super fast would be super cool, or maybe like a 458.
Okay.
Yo, this woman is this girl is definitely like the casuality with which she's just saying these car names.
Yeah.
This is nothing new to her.
She was raised with. Yeah. She was exposed
Yeah.
to this.
Bruh.
A Ferrari.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, she
like I know what it is.
she
but it's
said
like,
it with Ferrari. Like I understand, but to have like she said more realistic, right? Like this is her answer for more realistic.
Yeah,
Ferrari.
so this is like, yeah, man.
All right.
She's been around some
Maybe
Ferraris.
maybe it's used, or maybe it's hand me down. Maybe it's not like she's purchasing new. I don't know.
How much are those?
Would
Like
be
80?
ideal. No, those are probably depending like 300,000 to
Oh.
525K, just
All right.
depending on what you go with, and
She's a car girl.
love them.
All right, and then what about vacation? How important is travel to you? Like international? What are we thinking?
So I've not done any crazy international travels personally, but I'm always open to exploring, and I love the oceans. So like French Polynesian Islands would be super cool to
said
vacay for a little
oceans.
while, or
Bora Bora.
I don't even know, Australia, something
So it's
like
something
that.
you'd like to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So-
Okay.
It's,
but
it's not a
she's not
huge
been-
priority
she
for
has
me,
no
but
experience
it's
there.
definitely something that is
The
on
money
the
goes
list.
The car is
towards-
more important than the vacation.
Yeah.
So, if I was a stay-at-home mom, it would be because we're financially okay without me working. And like, if we were in a position where that wasn't the case, then I would 100% work and like be fine with that. But I want to have like 3 kids, so you'd have to have a bigger house for that. So, I don't even know because I've never owned a home. Maybe like, I don't know what's normal. Like, is 3,000 square feet normal?
So these women are again mid-20s. Some of them are in the later, low to mid. These questions that they're being asked, do you think this is something like you kind of had an idea of at that age?
When I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah, like did you kind of have an idea of like a realistic life, family life, cost-wise, size of house, kind of car?
I mean,
Like, I wanted a 7 Series BMW like over 10 years ago, and that would have been
yeah,
like,
okay.
you know,
Yeah, like maybe like in a really, because Waterloo, you'd see Audis all over the fucking place. So I wanted a really nice like A6.
oh yeah,
You
as a
know,
family
but,
car,
like-
or like
No, just
your
like as a
singlehood-
like
your singlehood car.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh, my singlehood car, I wanted an M5, and it was like,
Okay.
oh, but for when I get to a family, I'll get a 755i or 750i.
Oh, so you're talking about like family. I'm like chilling.
Well, I remember thinking that kind of stuff in my mid to late 20s. Like, because I wanted to be married by 25 originally. Like, I wanted to be married by mid 20s, but I knew, obviously, like, it's not like I can go 7 Series or whatever. It's not obviously buying new. Actually, a 7 Series new is like, at the time, was like 140, 150. Not insane, but like, it's a lot for a mid 20s guy who didn't really have like, I think I cleared student debt by then, but it's not like I had a lot of money, you know, like.
Yeah, I think I loved Audis, man. It would have been an Audi, whatever it was.
R8.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, R8's nice, man, or the new
Yeah,
I
that's a nice whip.
I something. All right, let's keep going.
That might be big.
Yeah, would you say like 4 bedrooms? Like
Yeah.
a 4-bedroom home, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about like cars? Would you want to drive a luxury car? Or do you not really care about that?
I don't care about cars. I know a lot of people do. Like, I drive a Mazda and I'm like perfectly happy with it. So that's not a big thing to me.
Shout outs to
Okay, and
her.
then what about vacations? Would you want to travel internationally, things like that?
Yes, I love traveling. Like, I think experiences are like the most like invaluable thing in life. So I would love to be able to travel domestically and internationally.
How many square feet would your house be?
Oh, minimum 23.
Okay.
2,300
All
square
right,
feet.
she
Yeah.
knows. And how many kids?
So that kind of depends on the person. I would be okay with none. And
Oh, wow.
also, like, it just depends on their values. I would say, ideally, though, my max would be 4.
Okay. What about a car?
I want a
That's
car where it's nice and it stays nice. I know ideally if you have kids, that's not going to happen. But I would like, personally for me, an SUV, Cadillac Escalade, you know, the OG like mom car of like, well, back in the day, I would say.
Okay.
OG.
And then what about vacations? Do you
Well.
want to travel internationally? Is travel important to you?
Yes. Travel internationally. I would love to go to Maldives.
Maldives.
More tropical environments.
Okay, describe your ideal lifestyle. So house. What's your house?
This
How many
girl
square
style though.
This girl
Shoot,
feels like
I
realistic.
never even thought of this.
feet? Okay, what about how many kids do you want?
I thought in terms of like family, this guy's got to be funny. We need to have inside jokes. Like, kids probably if we're financially able to. Like.
You know what's
maybe
funny? I gotta say
kids.
something
Okay,
about
3
this.
kids.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard this. You know how like women have like a list, right?
Like their like checklist.
Yeah, they have like a checklist, and like there's this guy named Dante Nero. I used to listen to his podcast all the time, and he used to like laugh at these lists because Dante is this big, like not fat, but he's like a big dude, and he's bald, and he always wears like these crazy fits. but this guy gets women all the fucking time, right?
Okay.
And like, he always used to say, "Yo, you don't know what you want." Wait, no. He's like, "You don't know what you want. You know what your pussy wants." Right? Meaning to say, like, regardless of like regardless of whatever's on a girl's like checklist, if you're just a dope enough dude and you're just a stand-up guy, she'll be willing to compromise so much shit. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Okay.
it's just funny because like all of these girls are just like listing shit, but I'd be willing to bet if they ran across someone that like maybe didn't match everything but was just like solid enough, they'd be like, man, fuck this list, you know. But anyway,
Well, yeah.
if
Well,
that makes sense.
like I think chemistry connection is probably not many women might even have it on their list, but that really dictates a lot right from the start. Like just being able to connect with someone. But attraction is huge. You know, like they might put all the other like technical stuff like these guys, whatever, like car or house or clothing or style or income and all that. But then, oh, actually, I've seen other videos too where like certain women, there was this like, what if? Would you rather have a man? This question I think was on Pearly Things. She said, would you rather have a man who gave everything you had on your checklist, all the money, all the, you know, successful, wealthy, gives everything that you could ever need in your life, but will cheat? Or a man who will never cheat on you, loyal, everything else, still good looking, all that stuff, but is kind of poor, like it just makes average money. And how many do you think? What do you think the women chose?
The former.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that just means that just means like the second guy was just not dope enough. You know what I mean? You can't do all that and still be poor. Like you gotta be.
Well, I didn't say poor.
You know what
I said average. Average.
No, like
And you
I
would
feel-
think average at this, let's say anywhere between mid-20s to late to mid-30s. Average is like what? What do you think?
Wait, so what was the percentage though? Because I kind of rebuttal that because I feel like women do go for the second guy.
I think it
What-
depends
what-
how well off the woman is. If the woman is financially dependent on the guy, if the woman wants to be a stay-at-home, or the woman's not really like driven career-wise or financially, they're not gonna pick the second guy. But if the woman's like self-made, maybe a doctor, maybe already like has her own businesses, CEO, and like all of the money stuff she's got handled, yeah, she's gonna pick the second guy. You know what I mean? Like, because she's not worried about the financial part. But what we're seeing, except for this woman, particularly, in terms of like expectation, we'll see more of. But like, the not expect. I wouldn't want to say the word expectation, but like, the projection is like a wealthy lifestyle, and it's like, it's not even something that they're earning. It's like it's going to be given to them simply because of their existence. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like, when I grew up and I was thinking about like wealth, I think it is very much like a sex thing here, but like sugar mama, sugar daddy, right? I never really thought finding a sugar mama was like an actual like option. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
like that. Oh, does that mean I'd have to like look for a woman who's like 10 years older or something, or like quick, you know, because they're gonna need time to make that
Certainly
money
more
too.
taboo.
Thanks, Mike. Mike just came into chat, but yeah. So the sugar mama thing was like, haha, it's funny, maybe, but then instant riches would just be winning the lottery. Like that was like the only thing that would give me instant riches. Everything else would be like hard earned. Like I'd have to like you know, put my head down. I don't know, push some sort of like entrepreneur business thing, maybe as an engineer or as a doctor or something, and I gotta work hard to make 6 figures and then like just work your way up, investments and all that other stuff, right? Like it had to be like hard work, clean earnings. But then these women at the same age, I don't know like about you, you can chime in too, but like when you were late teens to early 20s,
Okay.
Did you aspire to be wealthy?
Late teens to early 20s. I mean, yeah. Who
wouldn't,
You
right?
know,
Right.
yeah.
So, and how did you, in your mind, plan to attain that?
I mean, as a fucking rap star.
Okay. No, that's fair.
But, you know,
That's fair, man.
but
Some of
like,
us wanted to be some athletes, you know. Some people wanted to be NFL, NBA, you know.
mhm.
I thought I could be a singer.
But yeah, but basically to answer the actual question, like through means that I myself like would have
To
to
earn.
grind and work for it and
To
earn. Yeah.
earn. I have sensed no kind of earning from this batch except for her for this one. But anyway, Mr. Shot. Oh, Mrs. Hot Cheese. What's up? What's up? Thank you for coming.
So maybe like 4-bedroom house.
Sure.
Okay. And what about car? Do you care
Oh.
about car?
Last thing, I do think she has the level of innocence
Is that? What is that? Is that a chicken?
on her shirt.
No, the Mrs. Hot Cheese.
Oh, Mrs. Hot Cheese put. Yeah, it's a dancing chicken with a different face on
duck.
it. So I don't know. It's a duck.
It's a duck.
Thank you. All right. So she has a level of innocence that I appreciate. The other ones have a level of like naivety. Like they feel like it's not even innocence. It's more like they're naive about like what reality is gonna hit them. But anyway.
I like my Jeep.
Okay. What about vacation? Do you want to travel internationally? Is that important to you?
I feel like vacations is where I kind of would like to be financially stable enough to do fun things like that, and yeah.
She wants to be.
I don't care about the square footage of the house. I just want it to have enough space for me and however many kids we have. If we have one kid, we can just have one bedroom for them, like an extra bedroom, so like 2-bedroom house. If I have 5 kids, then I want to have a 5-bedroom house, or a 6-bedroom house, because we need a bedroom.
The master.
So I'll ask you then, how many kids do you want, like ideally?
I want 2 kids.
Okay. So
Ideally.
we'll base the house off the 2 kids. So you would want like a 3-bedroom, right?
I would want 3-bedroom, yeah. Maybe like an office added, but I don't care about any luxury. I don't really care about like a swimming pool. I would want
Oh, wow.
to let. It doesn't matter if we're super wealthy. I still would want to like be within our means,
Okay.
like within our needs.
Okay. What about a car? Do you care about the car?
I do kind of care about cars. I do like luxury cars. I think they're nice and I think they're sexy. But again, I would never go above. I would never want to be struggling because we're paying a crazy car payment. It's only if we had enough money that we could
Wow.
afford a luxury car.
This
And
is-
even then,
This
like
is the girl who said she wants 100% to be coming needs-wise from the man, but she would still make her own money. But this is interesting to listen to how she's like she's kind of like being
Balancing it
almost courteous, like a little bit more understanding of like maybe like I don't want my man to struggle with car payments. I'm like, oh wow, that's an interesting. I thought earlier she kind of came off like that wouldn't even be an issue, you know. But at least she's coming off like she's a little bit considerate of that.
I wouldn't want like a Lamborghini.
I
I personally, I like BMW and Mercedes just because they look nice. But I would get like just a nice car that I could drive my kids around, and then my man can drive whatever car he wants. I would definitely like a luxury car.
Okay, so ideally you would like a luxury car. What about vacations? Like, do you want to travel internationally? Is travel important to you?
Travel is very important to me. It was ingrained into the way that I grew up. Like, I've been traveling. I've been to like 10 countries.
Okay.
I love
Very nice.
traveling.
She has wealth. Growing up.
So I want to keep that up.
Okay.
Job that I have or the job that my husband has is going to be some sort of income that is not based off of them working, if that makes sense. Like, I would want my husband to own a business. I would own a business, and it would be able to run or function without us, and we should be able to never have to we'll always be retired, or we're never retired. Either one.
Whoa.
So like passive income, I guess, is what that is.
Yeah, I would want to be. That is a goal. Yes, just to get to passive income.
I'm gonna go with like, I feel like
What's up, Kyle?
21 to 2200 square feet.
Okay, that's reasonable. How many
Modest.
kids do you want?
Well, I haven't had one yet, so I don't really know what that pain endurance is really gonna be like. So for right now, I'm gonna stick with 2. I'll say that, and probably about like 5 bedrooms in the house. You always have to have an extra bedroom.
With
And
2,100?
then the walk-in closet.
She doesn't
has
know.
to be in my bedroom.
Right, that might be a little more than 2,000 square feet. What about a car? Do you need a luxury car? What, like, are you okay with regular car?
No, I'm not okay with a regular car. I'm not at all. I love cars. I feel like when you get into it every morning, or you're getting out of work, or you're getting out of work going to your car, it's something that you look at and you're like, damn, like I'm happy I'm working for something
So not a
good, and that makes
Toyota.
me feel good. It makes me happy. So I enjoy having a nice car.
Okay.
I had a Mercedes that I really enjoyed. And then I've
Mid-20s.
had Volkswagens, and I have one now, and I love Volkswagens, so I say those top 2 are good. Acuras are cool, but definitely Mercedes and Volkswagen. I feel like those are my top tier faves.
Okay. What about
Nothing
vacation?
exotic.
You want to travel internationally? How important is travel to you?
Volkswagen is
Well,
interesting.
let me tell you, extremely important. I would like to travel to Fiji, like really badly.
Oh shit.
I'd love to go
This
to
is-
Italy. I'd love to go to, Tuscany,
All right.
Greece.
What's up?
Sorry, ignore me. I just realized something. The way this is shot is like similar to a concept that I have
Okay.
that I'm working on. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Go.
Big vacays. All right.
Big vacays. They go on and on and on.
So how many kids do you want? You have one right now, correct?
Yes.
Just to answer Kyle, so like, are these girls paying for their own shit or not? Is the question in chat. We're gonna assume no. You missed the first part of the video where they're kind of like, although half of them were saying they were cool with 50-50 and that they would be earning to like provide for the family, but it's assumed that none of these girls are of like have attained a partner yet. They're like early to late 20s, and I'm assuming they're all single. So this is they're being asked what their ideal family situation would be. So we're getting into eventually the expectation of their spouse's income.
So I have one child. I like to have one child. I'm enjoying this. I
she has
don't
one.
feel like I'm ready for another kid, just because
Okay.
I still view myself as a young person, and I feel like children can be limiting in a lot of ways, especially since I am single. But if I had a partner, I think I would like to have 1 to 2 more children,
Girl
so
said
3
limiting.
altogether.
Okay.
By the time I'm
It's
32.
game changer, life changer.
Like once I turn 32, I think I'm cool. Like I'm gonna be comfortable with my one child
Uh-huh.
for the rest of my time. Here.
Okay. So if you did have more kids, you would want them to be before you turn 32. Is
Yes.
what you're saying. Yes.
She's
okay.
28.
So
I
now
think.
thinking about, okay, we'll just say maybe you want 3 kids. We'll go with that for the number. How many square feet would your house be? How many bedrooms would it be? Ideally.
If I had 3 children, though, I would definitely want at least 5 bedrooms, because if I had family members that wanted to stay over,
Mm-hmm.
I could put them in that room, and then I could have like another room for a different purpose, like an office space
accent
or
is interesting.
a computer room.
Right. And then what about a car? Like, are you a luxury car type of gal? Do you not care about the car?
So I'm practical with cars. I feel like I drive so much and I have a child. So my car needs to accommodate my lifestyle. However, I would definitely have like a car that I would use day to day. And then I would probably have like a more luxurious car that I would use recreationally, alone or like with my mans. So, and I wouldn't have like a modern sports car. Like my luxury car would be like an old Grand National or something like that, like worked out.
Pretty much.
Perfect. And then what about vacation? How important is travel to you? Like international travel? Is it something you prioritize?
Yeah, travel's actually really big to me. I like to go different places and experience different cultures and foods. I think that it's really nice to do that with my daughter as well. It kind of shows her something different than what she's used to day to day. So
Keeping all these things in mind, what you would like your ideal life to look like, what would you say, what would you want his income to be? If you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, like what kind of range would his income be?
That's tough because I feel like I would have to like break down like how much it actually like costs to have kids and like travel and the house and all that, and I don't really know, but I think for me to be comfortable like staying at home and not working, like I feel like this is gonna sound bad. I feel like 300,000. Like I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work.
Right. But you're talking ideal lifestyle. Like
Yeah,
this is your
yeah.
dream life, 300K for you to be able to
I think so.
be a stay-at-home mom
And
not
have
have to
three
worry about
kids
it.
and all that.
I'll get
yeah.
dream life.
Okay.
Like life's expensive.
I would just like to preface this as saying this is not do or die. But based on where I'm at, if he makes between anywhere from 70 to 100K,
I would have to say 127.
127. God
Especially,
damn.
like if they're in an industry
Specific,
where they do have longevity and they know like, hey, every single year I'm gonna get a raise between like 3 to 5%, which just depends.
Must
Like
be past
I would be
calculated
comfortable with
deeds.
that.
$500,000? Is that bad? I know that 1% of men make $500,000, or like less than 1% of men or something.
So if she
I'd
knows
say
that, okay. She's top 1%.
probably 150 to $250,000 a year. That's my guess.
Okay. And you would contribute also 50-50,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
You'd be willing to do up to 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So keeping all of this in mind, we just painted your ideal life.
Yeah.
For the 27-year-old man, what would his
work so hard.
income ideally
He's gonna work so
like have to
What would
be
it have to be?
to support this life?
Which is so funny because I saw this video the other day where it was saying like, if your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more money. So it really just depends. But I mean, just to have like a really decent lifestyle and be supported well, like 150 maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure. The more the merrier.
But she's covered.
This is
That'd be
USD, right?
I was
Yeah.
just having this conversation.
But then she just said she was contributing 0. So like, how would
That
she?
girl? That was one of the girls.
That
who
was
said
the
that?
girl who said 0. Like she wants to be a stay-at-home,
Oh, okay, right.
stay-at-home mom. If he's making 150, okay, I think maybe again. I think there's a
that's how much the Ferrari
there's a
costs.
there's a disconnect. Like 27 years old making 150, that's really good on that guy. Like to make 150 at 27, but like not for. She's the one who wanted that Pagani. She's the one who wanted the Ferrari. The 5 acres of like 5-bedroom house with like a big backyard. That was her. So I mean, I think there's a disconnect really of like dream, ideal versus like actual like reality. Like
Yeah, I thought she was gonna say at least 1M.
I thought she was gonna say like over 500K, but
with my friend, and she was like, you have to manifest a husband, girl. Like, you have to really think about the lifestyle that you want to live when it comes down to vacations and how many kids you want to have, and just like the lifestyle that you want to have. And I feel like ideally my husband needs to be making like 650,000. I feel like there's beauty and growth getting to that point.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna contribute, more than what I'm contributing now.
Yeah.
No, but ideally, I would want someone to be able to match my hustle. So like, if I'm making this
what does
much
she
and
make?
I have this lifestyle, this person cannot have a lesser lifestyle than me. Otherwise, it is not gonna work out.
Yeah.
so how baller is this girl? Like, she's saying same hustle, right? And if she's saying the guy's making 650, but that's ideal, and he's gonna have time to do that, but she's the 28-year-old who is willing to date 37. Like she went up to like 40 as well too. For those in chat who are curious, like if you missed it earlier, like, so but it is interesting to know she has a child, single mother.
She's fucking hard, bro.
So she's hustling on her own too. 650 though, like, I guess that again, if that's dream ideal, that's not. I mean, to make it up to there though, like, even the other girl, remember, she's like, she doesn't want to ever have to work. She wants to be like retired all the time. Her and her husband I'll have my own business. He'll have his own business, and then it would just self-sustain where it'll make us money, but we'll never have to work. How do you do that? Like, how do you get that? Like, I wonder how she manifests, like, the process to even get to that kind of situation for herself. What kind of business does she have in her mind? Like a money laundering business? What's up?
Well, but I guess like, I guess what I was taking from that was that she just would like for her and her husband to have a really successful business, right? Which I think
ideally
which is what everyone kind of wants, right? Like for their business to really be able to thrive without them.
Yeah.
Because she was just talking about having passive income.
But that's the thing too. Do you want that?
Passive income?
No.
What?
Do you want to put to?
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
No, I am. No, I'm asking you that. Obviously we all want passive income, right?
Yeah.
But she said in her example was she'll have her own business. Her husband will have her own business. You assume that when you are having your own business, it is a passion project. Usually, like to be an entrepreneur, to have your own business, you have to be invested in it. You have to put like effort in it. Like let's just say, ideal case, it was rap for you.
Okay.
Does that mean once you start making enough money from rap that you don't want to rap anymore?
Wait. I'm missing the. You gotta rephrase that.
Let's just say you make the kind of money that you want through rap. This is your hustle though, like Kanye. Like the come up. Okay. Now let's say you make $600,000 through rap to $1 million. So you get to a point where you no longer have to work. Let's just say you have a label or something that just let's just say, I don't know, somehow your rap career can bring in money without you having to rap anymore. Do you really want that?
Yeah.
No, but are you saying you would not want to rap anymore?
Well, like, I would not want to rap to make money anymore.
Okay.
Because I think every rapper, at some point they're rapping to make money, to get to a point where they can, build a label so that, it can be self-sustaining. Yeah. And then they can just do their passion projects, which is what Nas is doing right now.
Passion project. Okay. That's what I mean. So there's still like this level of like creativity and like professional side of your life. It didn't seem like, but her answer, she was like, so we can still travel, have our family and do this thing, and our business will kind of self-sustain the kind of income that will sustain this livelihood. But then, like, what kind of life does she plan on having? Like, I guess stay-at-home mom, raise the kids up until they're 18 maybe. So then what? Like, she was 24. Let's say she has her kids within the next few years, has 2 or 3 kids. They all get up to the point of 20, so she's now close to 50. And then what? Like, I guess, I don't know. Like, this is projecting.
I mean, that's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question, right? Because, like, what is, like, why do women want to be stay-at-home moms? What is the thrill of that? And I think it has more to do with them not necessarily having the laborious drive that men do.
Okay. But
and you hear... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Go on, you.
No, and you hear, and what's his name, Jordan Peterson. He was talking about how, like, after a certain age, the desire to really excel in your, like, professional life and to really beat out all your other competition, kind of drops significantly for women once you get, like,
for women,
yeah, once you get to a certain age, it's like, yo, I don't want to be at work for 18 hours. You know, I want to like, be at home with
don't
the
wanna
kids.
grind.
Like, so I think it has more to do with not liking the grinding part than just like wanting to like stay at home. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because like what do women do when they stay at home? I don't fucking know. They
Well,
fucking like
let's
watch
just
TV?
say, yeah, stay at home. Let's say a number of kids, and let's 20 years stay at home mom, right? Let's just say.
Okay.
So if you're mid 20s, and let's even overestimate it, 25 years. 25 years of being a stay at home mom. That's if you have multiple kids that were kind of spread out. Generally, I'm gonna say by 20, your kids are done. Like they'll move out, right? So or
Okay.
they'll want to find their own life, whatever. But yeah, they'll probably still want to be kind of financially dependent on the family. If they're making that kind of much money, they'll feel that freedom and that like access. But does that mean?
So wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, just real quick, just to make sure that in this context we're talking about like stay-at-home moms that have had kids that have been adults and are no longer.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
trying to now gauge if you're a stay-at-home mom and that was the plan, and now all your kids are grown up, you are not being a mom anymore. Does that mean technically your stay-at-home mom retired when you're 50? Like you can retire once your kids are out of the grown-ups, like adults. But the man still has to continue working until I guess the normal retirement age of 65? Or maybe they're both thinking self-sustain. Obviously, ideal is you figure out this thing, all your investments make your own money. Maybe you do some trading here and there, and then you're just rich. When you have a lot of money, it's easier to make more money, right? So it's like, we get that. It's harder to make a lot of money when you don't have a lot of money. But
Yeah, I think past like the. I mean, my parents both work, so I can't really use like any. I don't really have any examples of like parents where one was like a stay-at-home parent, but
yeah,
I'm guessing after the kids would have left the nest or whatever, they would start to develop hobbies or get into clubs or start hanging out with other stay-at-home
yeah,
moms
that's when you see
and like
Desperate
figuring out their
Housewives.
own stuff.
That's when you see the show Desperate Housewives, right? Like, because their kids are all they're generally older. Anyway, let's continue on
So-
here.
So you said you would want to contribute 40% max. So if
Right.
they're making 650, that would mean you would be making 400,000.
And that sounds great to me, unless I could be making more.
Okay. What do you
Crazy
think is
life.
the median income
$1 million a year.
for age 31?
As of right now, I think it's probably like between mid 50s, maybe 60.
It's $45,000.
So a median, I guess it's just like the high, like the most highest. It's like an average. It's not an overall average. It's just the most. I guess they took a poll. We don't know how many people they polled, where they polled, if it's international, whatever. But somehow they got this number where the majority of people in this age group make this much. It's not about average, because average would definitely bump that up, right? It's not a mean
Okay.
average. It's a median. So
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think the top 25% of men are making at 31?
I think it's probably in my range of like that mid, like maybe like 57.
she's so
70.
specific with numbers.
70. Oh, okay.
Top 10%
She's like,
of
oh,
men.
thank God.
I'll say
at
90.
31.
90.
111, you're close. Okay. And then what about the top 1% of men?
Ooh, I would say 120.
252.
Wow. Okay, that
Top
jumps
1%.
pretty high.
Top
So
1%.
you're asking 127 is
Mhm.
closest to the top 10% of men. So I would say it's probably top 5% at 31 if I had to guess. So only the top 5% of men at 31 are making $127,000.
That's insane. That is crazy.
But it's kind of crazy because over 70% of men never make 100,000 even one time in their life. 70% of men. So that means only 30% of men are, well, actually 23 last year in 2021, only 23.4% of the male workforce made $100,000. And
Bro.
that's factoring in all ages.
Everyone is broke, yo.
Yeah, it's not. I
Yo,
mean, it's not
like,
the economy for
niggas
it
is
right now.
broke. Bro, everyone is fucking broke, fam.
Yeah, well, 100K USD in a year it takes time to get there. Like it's gonna take that. Like again, these women were projecting around the 31 mark, right? Ideal though. So for their ideal, they would have to be with the top 1%, 10%. We'll give it to them that this is their ideal. We don't really know where they touch into realism, but let's just keep. Deji, you want to say something before I keep going?
No, I was listening, but I was just like, I think about just how the lengths that rich people go to appear like they're still rich. It's like the whole facade on Instagram and social media. It's like, bro, everyone's fucking broke, fam.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that was another thing too. I think we touched on another pod, but like when you ask kids these days like what they want to be when they grow up, the majority of answers now are influencers. They don't want to be, a doctor or astronaut or engineer or maybe even an artist, like a recording artist or an athlete. It's influencer because that's what they see on Instagram.
Is not just, guys under 32 or whatever it is. You assume most of them are a little bit older.
Right, are making, oh my gosh.
I don't know, maybe 80.
It's actually 41,000.
You're lying.
For a 27-year-old.
I just feel like everything is so expensive nowadays. Like, I guess that's fine. No worries. Cut it in half.
41,000. That's
Shorty will bring it home.
What?
That's the.
She said zero.
Median. And then what do you think the top 25% of men at 27 make?
I guess that's it. Let's change up the perspective. Maybe 60K.
61. Yep,
Okay.
close. And then what about the top 10%?
Top 10. 75.
91. Okay, so you're
Okay.
under there. And then what do you think the top 1%ers at 27 are making?
Oof, like 200K.
Spot on.
Yeah.
203. Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep. So
I need
you
me a
want
1%er.
1% man at 27.
It seems like that's all we want nowadays with these 1%ers.
Median income never eclipses 65,000 regardless of age. So 70 to 100 is above the median.
Well, somebody's gonna have a sugar mama.
That's dope.
Not 300,000. I mean, the median. I'm gonna guess like, I don't know. Is it like 80?
It's $48,000 for
Okay.
32.
Okay.
Yeah, and even at
That's
the
crazy.
even at the top 35, which was the end of your range.
Yeah.
The median is $52,776.
So my expectations are not realistic.
So you said
Well,
you want 500K.
Hold
but what
on.
do you,
This isn't unfair. This is a little unfair for her. It's the fact that she just said her expectations are unrealistic. But the questioning up until this point was all about her ideal dream, right? So it's getting mixed up a little bit. There's a little bit of like, she's trying. Like I think Courtney is trying to bring them into reality now, but she started off the questioning with ideal dream. So I think this is a nice kind of like a shock factor in terms of like realism, but it's not necessarily fair in terms of their earlier answers. Kyle saying she thought average people make 80K. Yeah, that's what they think.
And this
think
is
the median
USD.
income
This is US too, man. US
Bro, this is USD.
early 30s. Like yeah. All right, this girl is. I forget what she said actually. I don't remember her answers anymore. I wish they would just like put it on the screen what the answers were. That would be easier. Just
is for a 30-year-old?
60K? 70K? 50K.
It is $45,000.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, that's the median. Now, what would you guess if you had to the top 25% of men or people at age 30?
Well, if that's the medium, then the top 25, like 60?
73. And then what about the top 10% of men?
100?
Close, 108. What about the top 1%? Top 1% of men at 30.
Well, I thought it was 500,000, but you said no, so 400,000.
338. Yeah, so.
Top 1%
let's
of 30
see.
make
I mean,
338?
338 is still okay.
For a 30.
See, that was funny. That was the funny part. I mean, 338 is still okay. So this is her for her access of what's actually available to her now at only 1%. She's like settling or something because of her ideal, but I don't think she's really seeing like the process now where Courtney's trying to bring them from dream to now like reality, like realism, right?
Let me just put myself in that position. Could I get the 1% chick right now?
A top 1% chick. I wonder what that is. Like, what is it? Because if you think about
How?
it's so
Could
easy.
I
It's so
do
easy
that?
to make a top 1% category for men because it's mainly income. But is that how we value a 1% woman? Like, is her income? Is that how we even like look at a top 1% woman? Usually, it's like
man.
supermodels or like, you know what I mean? It's not has
It's
nothing to
usually
do.
physical.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with income. Like, it's not
It's actually usually physical.
completely physical. Also, like youth.
And like personality too.
Like look at Leonardo DiCaprio. I know, poor example, but his checklist is 24 and under. That's his criteria, and he's a top 1%er. We know Leonardo DiCaprio is a top 1%er. Maybe even 0.1%.
Probably.
He's probably 0.1%, man. Like,
Nah, I think he's in the. Well, yeah, he is. But then there's okay. I'll give him that because I was gonna say there's Leonardo DiCaprio rich and then like Bezos rich because I remember that video of Jeff Bezos' wife like trying to holler at him.
how old is Jeff Bezos' wife though?
I'm not sure.
It's a different kind. Again, yeah. It's different with celebrity. Celebrity's different. Bezos, you're right. Bill Gates, you're right. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the more like the business hard worker type of like CEO wealth, but he's touching on like the younger girls, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not like the other billionaires you were just talking about. Elon's kind of more of that playboy, you could see from his like choices. Okay.
2-year-old, what do you think the median income is for this age specifically?
For a 42-year-old?
32-year-old.
32-year-old.
The age that you chose.
42.
I'm going to go with probably like 85K a year.
It's $48,000.
What?
The top 25% of men, guess how much that is at 32?
Wait, say that once more.
The top 25% at 32 years old.
I don't know. Now I'm even nervous to answer the question. I guess like maybe 125.
77.
She's half so far now, I guess.
Top 10% is 120. And the 1%ers at 32. 1%, this is men and women. 1% at 32, 320,000.
I think it's 250,000.
It's 52,000.
What? No, it's not.
She said 37.
Damn, America.
And then guess how much the top 25% is at 35. These are the top 25% of earners.
It's 50,000 is the average income of a 37-year-old man.
Median.
And then
median.
what's the top 25% of a 37-year-old? If you had to guess.
The top 25% of a 37-year-old man.
Got it.
Dang, maybe it's 200,000.
86.
What?
Oh,
No, it's
snap.
not.
The top 10% is 137,000. The top 1% of earners at 37 years old. Top 1%ers.
Right,
like,
right.
Like, we're talking 1%, 304,000. Still not 650. Do you think that your standards are unrealistic? Do you think it's realistic?
Again, unfair for Courtney to now use the word standards because she said ideal dreams first. Just saying that. Not Courtney's fault. I think she understands what she was trying to do here, but it's unfair to use their dreams and now compare it to standards, because this isn't necessarily their standards. But anyway.
Like, what do you think after hearing the median and the statistics around it? Like, what are your initial thoughts?
It definitely is shocking because a 37-year-old man is a lot older than me. And that means that
They still broke.
I don't even know how to process this right now.
No, it's just the one thing I wish these women kind of were put into the position of like kind of answering is based on their projection from their ideals is where they evaluate themselves. I wish there was some sort of like level of self-evaluation. Do you believe now that if you are, let's say she was going after, she was a 1%er. She wanted a 1%er. So would she ask herself, or would Courtney ask them, do you think you are a top 1% woman? Not income though, but like catch, like most of these women's gonna have to have these kind of not expectations, I don't want to say that too, but like projections. They have to look at themselves and consider themselves to be like, I'm a catch, like I'm the shit, like, and I'm worth it. I'm worthy of being able to have this kind of lifestyle because of my existence of who I am. I wish that was kind of premised. I don't know if it will be. There's still time.
And the median income never eclipses $65,000 regardless of the age.
Oh, wow.
So
65 median.
Yeah, the median income for even a 75-year-old, 16 to 75, never eclipses 65,000. And then over 70% of men never make 100K even once in their lifetime. Over 70%. In 2021, only 23.4% of the male workforce made 100,000, and that's all ages. So you have to assume a lot of them are older, above 40, 50, 60s. Why do you think, what do you think makes women feel like they want that? Like, what is causing women to want the 1%ers?
I think a lot of it is like social media hype and just this grand idea of what's obtainable nowadays, which it totally is, but you have to work for it. And that's why it's 1% and not everybody's doing it. So it's not bad to want that, but you have to surround yourself with those types of people. So honestly, for a long time, you're probably going to be in the 25%, but that's how you strive and you get better and you meet the right people. So I think they want it because it seems so obtainable based on social media.
Do you think a lot of people just don't know the statistics around it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was a little shocked when, obviously the 1% is going to be that higher income.
Chat,
but
just so you know.
what was the beginning, like 41?
The median is 41.
Yeah, that was shocking to me, to be honest with you. But I mean, it makes sense.
I'll tell you some other ones that are crazy too. So the median income never eclipses $65,000 regardless of the age.
What?
In 2021 alone, only 23.4% of the male workforce made 100K, and that's all ages. So you have to assume a lot of them are older too. Like
Right.
Hardly any of them would be 27.
Right. Wow.
And there's actually only one age from 16 to 75 where the top 10% of men make 200K. If you had to guess what it is, what would you say?
34.
75 years old.
Oh, shit. What?
Yeah, bringing it home. Old ballers. That's so cool.
She
Would you date a
wants some-
75-year-old
No.
to get the money?
No.
So where do you think these guys are at that are making this much money? Like, what do you think they're doing?
the black market.
To be honest, like it's probably, I'm thinking like as someone that's in like the STEM world, they're probably in either STEM, entrepreneurship, or
she's in
they
STEM.
are in the
STEM, yeah, STEM still, but like what level, what tier of STEM? There's so many, you could be a grunt worker with STEM, but then she said entrepreneurship, and like, man, you don't know a lot of the failed starting businesses, but entrepreneur, that word sounds nice, but there's a lot of, you don't know the failures.
entertainment industry, and they are
Yes.
the lucky few.
Celebrity entertainment,
I would
I will
think.
say.
Or they're maybe doing trades.
Okay, and what industry are you in? You're in STEM?
Yeah, I'm in STEM.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
she's a STEM.
Yes.
Oh, whoa.
So she must make.
That's impressive.
She make
Do
200K?
you meet
Yeah.
a lot of men who make this much money? Like, do most of the men you interact with meet these requirements?
Yes, if they're older, if they're outside my age range, yes.
Makes sense.
Where do you think these guys are at that are making this much money?
They're honestly probably just not around because they have more going for themselves and just like going out and like partying around. They're probably like strictly businessmen, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Starbucks at 7 a.m. in the morning. That'd be my guess at their business office.
So you said 150 to 250 would be kind of ideal. Over 70% of men never make 100K even once in their lifetime. So last year alone in 2021, only 23.4% of the male workforce made 100K. And this is like all ages, 16 to 75, like all working people. Yeah, and the majority of them, like you have to assume they're older because it's factoring in all ages. And then only one age, from 16 to 75, at the top 10% are making 200K. If you had to guess, pick, which age do you think this is?
39.
75 years old.
Hell no. I don't want a raisin.
Damn.
I don't want a Hugh Hefner. Trust me. I rather just be single. Thank you, though.
Have you ever met any men that make that much money that are in the age that you're looking for?
Yeah, multiple.
And where do you typically meet them? Like online or on trips?
One I met traveling,
Makes sense.
one on a dating app, and one
Okay.
or two in person, like out, like going out with my friends.
At a
But
fancy
there are
restaurant.
people that do make that are younger. It's just not like the median, right?
Right.
Is that what
so,
you're saying?
so over 70% of men never make 100K in their lifetime. But last year, 23.4%
lifetime.
of the male workforce made 100K. So that was in
There's a lot of
2021.
people in the world,
Okay.
man.
So 23.4%.
There's a lot of people in the
Majority
world.
of those are probably older.
So she's
But
she's
there
talking about in the
probably
world.
is a small
She
percentage
says
that make,
I'm guessing
you know,
world.
over
She didn't say
100K.
Americans. I
But,
don't know.
I mean, you said 300K, so that's not even anywhere close. But the median
Oh my gosh.
income for people never eclipses 65K regardless of age.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, I
like,
guess
what do
there
these
is, like, a
people
wide
make?
range,
I wonder
so.
what they make.
Would you marry a guy who made
would
less
ask
money
them.
than you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, because at the end of the day, like, you can't, like, that isn't necessarily what makes me, like, attracted to a person. And just because somebody makes X amount of dollars, like, you can't force yourself, at least I can't, to like someone for that reason. So, like,
That's
if
some
whoever I
saving
fall in love
grace.
with or, like, want to be with doesn't make that, then then it is what it is.
So you'd be willing to make changes and compromises to your ideal scenario based off of hearing these statistics.
Yeah, because
It's not even about the statistics.
being in your ideal scenario but with the wrong person is gonna be miserable. So
Right, like
definitely.
if the only way you could have that is if the guy's 75 years old,
Ugh,
like you're not choosing that.
no.
This girl said, ugh.
Ugh.
It depends. that depends because
Oh, she's considering 75.
if I'm making enough money that I can sustain the family and still be a housewife, I guess. Like I'm making enough passive income or enough, like I can take time off enough with my job, then I'm okay with my husband not making as much, but
Then that's not 0%.
But only if you were, say, at making 500K yourself.
yeah, if I was
Damn.
making 500K, then I can make that exception, but I don't think that I could marry somebody
Oh.
that makes less than me.
If the amount that I
Oh,
was making
shoot.
was different, then I think, okay, so the higher the amount of money that I would make would determine like if I would be willing to marry someone that makes less than me. At the end of the day, I would stay true to who I am, and if this was a person that I really ideally liked and they were just making 50,000 and they were loyal,
Just
I would be with that person.
50K
For
US
sure.
is pretty damn good.
Yeah, but as long as he doesn't have more debt than me, that's fine. Like that's just like
Oh.
where we're talking about. Like if you're getting married to somebody, like their baggage is your baggage. So you could make less money than me, that's fine. But don't bring more debt than me.
Yeah,
you know,
debt-free,
that's
man.
where it's
What are you
like I'm
talking
not gonna
about?
pay your bills that way.
What is it you think that these men want specifically in a woman? Like, what would make a guy, like, pick you or want to be with you if they're making this much money? Like, what are they looking for?
A wallflower, someone they can come home to, and they're making dinner and they're draped in lingerie and just unrealistic wife, I guess. Someone who takes the kids to school every day, someone who doesn't complain, and yeah, I'm basically not that. is what I'm trying to get. So, folks, I'm screwed for that matter.
And what do you think those guys want? Like the top 1% men, what are they looking for in women?
I mean, I hope it's just honesty and like loyalness, because that's the most hard, I guess, like personality trait to find nowadays. And it's, I think, what should be the most important. So I hope that's what they're looking for. Honestly, though, it's probably fake ass and big titties, which is cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like the
I don't mind them too, but
99%
it's
of men are also.
I don't think they're as realistic as they should be. I mean,
That's
they
fair.
say the same about us, so.
So you think men are unrealistic about maybe what they're looking for too?
Or they're not as, well, not that they're unrealistic, but that there's such a painted picture of like what this woman should look like based on all these women on social media with Facetune and Photoshop and this, that, and the other, that it goes both ways.
But do you think since they're like the top 1% of men, they feel like they can be more picky
A little,
about
yeah,
that kind of stuff?
100% that they can be a little bit more choosy. I mean, I think core values should always be present. You should always have standards for that. But
Realistically,
if it's
though,
like aesthetics and looks, those 1%ers probably feel, you know, they don't have to talk to you if they don't want to.
And do you think women have unrealistic expectations too about men?
Yeah, absolutely.
Specifically, like in the money category that we're talking about.
Yes,
Like,
I mean,
I just asked you to paint, a picture, and it's like a $3 million nest egg
Yeah.
with the car. So, like,
So
what
nice.
are your thoughts after hearing the statistics? Like, does that still seem realistic to you, or do you think it's maybe a little?
I mean, it seems realistic to myself because I know what I'm gonna get, and I really don't need the support of
Okay, so she has a
of
hustle.
a
That's
guy
good.
like that. Like, I'm looking for another pilot. You know what I mean? I don't need a co-pilot. So it just depends on the type of person that you surround yourself with. So I think anything could be realistic. You just have to work for it.
What are these guys looking for in women? Like, what do you think they want in a woman?
So that's why I feel this is the catch with dating someone that's making a significant amount of money. Even though they can provide the lifestyle that I, in a perfect world, ideally would love to have, this is a person that has access to so many more things than the average person has. So I might not be enough for this person's curiosities, and that would make me very insecure in a relationship. It would make me, if I was making significantly less than a partner, it would make me feel insecure, like I wasn't on the same level as them. And not that I'm trying to like be the, super equal with my partner, because I can be submissive in some areas. I feel like that would just, I couldn't maintain a relationship with a person.
Like, you would
that.
think maybe that they were looking elsewhere.
I think that men that make this much money just want a woman that's really easygoing, really laid back, probably doesn't have much of an opinion that's different from their own. I'll never be that woman. I'll always argue, a difference of opinions because it's fun to me. So, I feel like they want a woman that they can be very, what is the word, like dominant over, like they're gonna be calling the shots. These are all
Is it
my
just
good
one
things.
woman though?
Would you be willing to make any changes or compromises to the things that you want based off of hearing the statistics, like the house, how many kids, cars, vacations, living in your nice neighborhood? Like, what compromises would you make?
I'm a broke motherfucker with
Or would
two
you not be
girlfriends
willing to make
right
any
now.
compromises, and this is just the life that you want? End all be all.
I just think at this stage in my life, because I'm 24 and I've dated a few guys, and that's still a goal of mine. Maybe if I was like 30 and, my fertility clock was ticking and I needed to make some compromises to kind of like settle down with somebody, then I would probably be able to do that. But as of right now, that is still a goal of mine, and I think that it's achievable.
I just want to know how.
Because I think that you can live that life with $300,000. Probably not $100,000, but $300,000 probably.
It's very different when you're expecting someone else to do it for you versus like I'm going to do it myself.
Right.
And then, you know, whoever I'm with will hopefully have a similar mindset and be able to like work towards it with me, and we can
Right.
kind of tackle it together.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, it's like if you have 20K and I have 20K, like we can get so much more done as opposed to myself or
Right.
yourself or me just demanding that you have that. It would never work for me.
Yeah, no, I'm not too fixated on the salary. I still want to be comfortable and hopefully have some of the things that I wasn't able to have, you know, go on trips and
See?
have
Her
kids
upbringing
and have
wasn't
them well
the same
taken
as the
care
others.
of. So whatever that means, it's a cliche saying, but like my best friend growing up, she came from a family of 8, also a blended family like mine, and her mom always said, you always make things work. So I'm like actually not even worried about it, because I think if you just think that I'm gonna make it work, we're gonna make it work.
and overall, just to round out this video, would you say that you're surprised by the statistics I showed you, like the median income of the 31-year-old only being, let me look really quick, $45,000?
Oh yeah, I'm shocked. But then again, like I understand it now that I think back of like different conversations I've had with people, different dates that I've went on. I'm like, that does make a lot of sense. But at the same time, it's also kind of nerve-wracking, because if I'm thinking like, you know, back in the day, like if you would have thought like in high school, like, hey, you know, once I'm 30, you know, everyone thought like, oh, at least for girls, like we're going to be married, you know, we're going to have kids, we're going to be living in this big house. And that's not even like the standard of living currently, or even like the average. So yeah, like that's insane to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy when you have an idea of what you want, but you don't really know what it is you're asking for.
Yeah, you
Like-
don't know the true value of things until like you're currently experiencing it.
I think just surprised, honestly, because I wouldn't have guessed that. So it's good to know what is more realistic.
I'm definitely shocked, to say the least, especially for me picking 27. I wonder if maybe I would have picked a little bit of an older age, but it just wasn't ideal for where they would be at. But you said people don't even eclipse over 61,000.
65
65,000 over their life. That's just like,
for the median, yeah.
yeah, for the average of people, it's interesting. So, I mean, I guess it really just depends on what you do for a living. Was a huge takeaway for me. I would have never guessed that number.
Yeah, because even if you go to 30, it's 45,000. 35, 52,000.
Wow.
And when you're a woman who's making, you know, a good amount yourself, it's like you don't even think about a man making less than you. I think
Yeah.
is the mindset that a lot of women have.
I don't know,
Yeah,
for
that's the
myself,
thing,
because
too, like,
I
Women are making money, bro.
at a young age just figured out like the type of people to be around and how to invest and turn more money into money and things of that nature. So to know that a lot of people work really hard and never get there is like sad, I guess. Because I don't care if my man makes less money than me. Like, bitch, I'll pay for the trip to Bora Bora, but like,
Bora
just
Bora,
be cool.
dude.
So yeah, that's
You know how much Bora Bora is?
interesting to know that. Do you feel like a
Yeah,
lot of
this
women
sounds
nowadays are like,
Like it's not like a Jamaica. It's not like a Mexico. It's not like when the other person said Maldives, French Polynesian Islands, Bora Bora is like that. Like you're spending what you would think you'd spend on multiple years going to like Jamaica or something. It's ridiculous.
I demand this, like,
Yeah, I do, and I think a lot of it has to do with social media.
yeah, me too.
Just really painting an unrealistic picture of what we should be looking for in a partner. And also just like, if a guy's 25 years old, he's not going to be making 250K.
You know?
Like it takes a long time to make money.
100%.
And I think people who don't grind and work themselves or come
All
from a
the time.
background where they had to like really work for
girl's
money or
pissed.
understand the value of the dollar, they don't understand how hard
She's
you have to
pissed at
work
the
to make
interviewer.
money.
Sure.
And some
For
people, you know, they
blindsiding her.
work their butt off and
I
they
don't
never
think
make
it's
that much money.
No,
I'm gonna have to.
I think she's
accept a man
disappointed.
That makes $60,000, and
But I
honestly,
think like the
from what
interviewer
I'm
was kind of
hearing,
like
it sounds like they'd be a lot
it,
better.
like,
for
set up
one,
suggesting
but for
that
two,
that she
a
was
man
like
that's gonna
not
come home
realistic
and not cheat on.
and kind of putting it in her face.
Yeah.
She didn't like that.
So were you shocked by the median income
Unfair
of a
again.
32-year-old?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
dream
just
versus
insane.
realism is not the same.
My conclusion is that
Schools
these questions that
versus-
you asked me
I
are
appreciate
very
her insight,
important
though, and you can
factors
tell,
in, you
'cause
know,
she's
having a relationship with someone
5-6 years older than
and
the
having
others.
a happy, comfortable marriage.
And she's a kid.
Having realistic expectations
And she's in
your
STEM.
life.
Oh, no, the other girl was
and
in
with
STEM.
a partner,
The other girl was in STEM.
you know, or being in a situation where you're settling,
War.
you know, with a partner. It just brings up all those different things Um,
Damn,
I guess
oh shit, it's like 40.
All right. So, I mean, thank you, Courtney Ryan, for the video. You guys can watch the whole thing if you want to. I'll have the link in the description. Uh, any kind of like closing thoughts on that, Deji?
Man, any thoughts on that? That was a lot of information, you know.
I think
Yeah,
low
I don't even know,
20s,
like,
low 20s. I think there's a level of like just unawareness. You know, if they're young 20s, they're just kind of coming out of school. So maybe you're right. I could tell, like, by the way, some of them were dressed, maybe the way they looked, that if they're at that age and already kind of being able to present themselves in that manner, they've already been introduced to wealth. So they're probably already in the top 25%. I'm not gonna put them with like the medium, or the median. Sorry, they're already in that upper tier of like income exposure. It's just a matter of like, that girl was right. The one with as you said, she was pissed. It's who you like it's your network and who you surround yourself with.
yeah.
Like if she's around a bunch of wealthy people, they're gonna have their kids too, and they're gonna like, this is just how. Yeah, you're gonna, if you only expose yourself to the same kind of, I guess, pool of potential partners that you already have experienced income wise, then you're likely going to more likely find someone who's going to fit within your expectation, standard.
Okay, this is what I'll say on this, and I hope this makes sense. Okay, so I feel like traditionally it's been accepted that men, in order to reach a certain level of success, has to be through working a certain amount of time, jumping like multiple levels in one or many areas. And
Oh, dude, your mic cut off.
oh shit.
Okay, there.
But basically working your way to success, right?
Yeah.
And I remember reading this book called The Art of Seduction, and it basically talked about how throughout history men have always had physical strength and power, right?
Yeah.
And that's how they've always amassed their wealth, success. And women had to find a way to navigate that. And their weapon of choice was seduction, right? And, which was like their beauty, their je ne sais quoi, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying all that to say, like, it's a very logical, because men are like traditionally logical, right? And women are considered traditionally emotional in their feelings.
Right.
It's a very logical 1+1 to say, as a man in this world, you need to work up this much in order to reach this, right? But I feel like for women, it's different, because they don't necessarily follow a linear path the way men, and I feel like they do have the ability to kind of just like jump. And it's funny, I was watching a chess match with
Deji,
Andrew Tate.
1 sec. Oh yeah, with Pierce Morgan.
Andrew Tate and Pierce Morgan.
Keep going. I'll be right back. But yeah, carry for me for a second.
Yeah, so I was watching this chess match between Andrew Tate and Pierce Morgan, and Andrew Tate was talking about, one of the reasons why I like chess is because in chess, the king, he can only, the king piece, he can only square at a time, right? Whereas the queen has the ability to jump the entire board or make as many moves as she wants. And he compared that to real life, whereas like men, we're taught traditionally, we have to work, grind, do it one step at a time by level to get to this point, whereas women kind of just do whatever. And he compared it to, when you see a girl on a yacht in Dubai, did she buy that yacht? No, she probably just knew the guy or she's dating the guy that actually buy the yacht. Whatever, right? I'm saying all this to say, I don't believe innately or even like cosmically women have to play by those set of rules, because I feel like our tools are different, you know, like men in this law. That's kind of how we have to navigate it, like a step by step, it's like a linear thing, and even like symbol is like a phallus and it's like straight, you know. But women is usually like not so simple. It's usually like a circle thing, right? Just and my point is just being they don't have to that path that seems so logical to men. So when these girls say these like things that seem crazy to men, I mean it seems crazy to me, but at the same time I'm like they probably know a bunch of other women that have been able to get in these positions, which is why they're just saying it because they've seen it, you know.
Yeah.
And depending on where they live too, because a lot of these girls sound like they're from the U.S. They maybe live on the West Coast. So like, I would say there's a higher concentration of the percent range in these areas, you know,
Yeah.
or at least they're just exposed to it, right? So yeah, my main point is that I don't know if women are necessarily like relegated to following the same path to success and it being linear, you know.
Well, what
But
you mentioned earlier, like in the more so in the past, it was like power and like, you know, strength and power was what got you success, and then the women's choice was seduction. In today's world, the access, no, maybe even just like, yeah, the point of access to wealth isn't as available to the vast majority as, let's say, success was accessible in the past. Like, you could have come up, let's say, from a poorer kind of upbringing, but if you were strong and like charismatic or whatever, and you can, you know, develop an army behind you, you can like, you know, rally up people and take over, eventually like Genghis Khan or something like that, and you would just like gain power through military means of like physical. But in today's domesticated world, access to that kind of success is very much limited to those who already have been exposed to it. It's really hard for someone, not impossible. It's not impossible, but like to break out of, let's say, poverty or like a lower class tier of income. Growing up, like, as they said, this, like even the education system, like set up to fail. Like if you don't go, if you're stuck in like maybe a private school and like maybe a not so nice part of the neighborhood, or maybe your school board isn't as quite as successful or as like what's the word, competitive or whatever as, you know, the wealthy side of the town, you know. And so like you're gonna try whatever if you do post-secondary, whatever like that, but just access. They've a lot of these jobs you see, you know, not to look down upon like a cashier job at like a grocery store or like a department store or a coffee shop or a fast food chain, whatever. We all gotta like kind of make our way through profession. We get, you know, put your foot through the door with like getting a job when you're young, but then as you like develop yourself as a person professionally, whether it through be school or experience, or you just like, you know, you network your way up, access to like higher income and wealth, it is still very much limited until like this video said, until you're like in your later in your 30s, maybe even 40s, because you've already put in so much time, and it took a lot of time and effort to build, let's say, a network, and then that network will produce more opportunities for you to make more money. But if you never did that in your 20s,
yeah,
like if you know, there's a lot of wealthy people who maybe just went into trades, like, you know, construction work, and
yeah,
they make hundred
what
thousands,
else?
you know.
What I'll say to your point is I feel like it's actually a lot easier to make money now and a lot easier to find success. However, the gap is growing between like
Easier how?
just because like how could you make money back then, you know, other than like working a job? Now there's so many other means to
Yeah, the
And
fact that it's so global now, like access with internet,
internet, yeah.
we
So
we
that's
have
more so
more
what I mean.
options of how to make money.
Yeah, but
There's
like
more competition though too.
the gap between rich and the poor is definitely,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So yeah, it's like the middle class is just
yeah. Well, they're just floating along. We're just floating along. I guess I can say we. Uh, I'm still trying to get to that level. Like 100K, that's 140, basically 140 Canadian, right?
Jesus.
It takes some
That's a
time,
lot of fucking money, bro.
and it's not even just through and that's if you're thinking about like at a younger age, sure you could be doing it through. I can see trade, something in finance would probably be a quick access to get to something like that, but a grind requires like multiple streams of income. Like
You
not
getting
only
taxed, bro.
yeah, well that too, because well that's the thing. I don't think they're talking about it like net. I don't think they're talking about net income. They're talking
Gross,
about gross, I think, revenue.
bruh.
But then that one girl did mention like debt. Like I feel like debt should reduce everyone's number. Like if you think you're making 100 something thousand a year, but you're in debt, that's not really 100,000 then. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so there's
facts.
that, and however long you hold on to that debt is reduces that income for you. But anyway, I thought that was a cool thing, kind of
Yeah,
like
we
to.
watched that whole thing.
Yeah, I did not realize we would. Thank you for staying longer there, man. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
chat. Thanks for joining us. Did you anything last thing to say?
Hey, man, everyone just, found love.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that last thing, the dating scene, how this ties into dating, right? So
Bruh.
these women have more access. Like, just look at Tinder, or whatever kind of app. They get to use their art of seduction or whatever through these apps, and it's all visual for the male, right? Doesn't matter what they make or whatever like that. And they make the argument though, like it takes money for us to look this good. It takes money to get our nails done, to get our skin and our hair did, and all our makeup and clothes. They make that argument. That's why they expect or they require a man to be able to provide that for them. But on the flip side, for men, now the access to like just being able to view these women, because in the past, before dating online, men could not even like come across women like this, right? Like you would never even see a woman like that maybe in your neighborhood or in like within your network or whatever like that. But now you have Tinder, and you flip open, you have a certain radius, and now all of a sudden you think these are available to you, and it's misleading. It's like it's not it's not true. It's not real, but it's perceived. It's perceived access. But then the women, I mean, it's the same for them. It's just now they've got more like thirst, like people, way more people thirsting after them, which is going to enable them to feel like they're a higher percentage maybe than they really are. I wonder, I would really like to know for this selection of women where they place themselves in terms of like where they feel they are, in percentage
Oh, you're talking about like
of women,
the
like
metrics that
not
the host
not
is using?
not even income, just do they consider themselves to, well, some of them it sounds like they make money. Some of them make money, but some of them don't. I feel like some of them aren't even there yet. They're
Maybe not the same value point, but like the same.
yeah.
That makes sense.
But if they want a top 10% man or a top 1% man, do they consider themselves to be a top 10% woman or a top 1% woman? And is that something that is that even something that's fair to ask? Is it even about
The dreaded V word.
Is it even a part of fair? I don't even know. Maybe it has nothing to do with
The
fairness.
dreaded V word.
What's V? Oh, what? What's
The dreaded V word.
Oh, well, not the one, not the one with the kid. Is that what you mean?
Oh no, like value.
Oh, high value, low value. Well, okay. Sorry, there was one last thing I wanted to say. Where they put themselves 1%, 10%, and then I asked, is that even something that's? There it is. There it is. Okay.
The alpha males.
Because the top 1 to 10% type of men. Yeah. Oh, you just read the chat too. Mike just said that. Mike just said that. So the top 1% of men, we kind of project aren't looking for one female, correct? Generally, they like a collection. So it's almost like they can afford multiple of these women who expect 500K, 300K, right? Because they're making millions, billions. They can afford all these expectations of these. So maybe this top 1% can actually grasp up to 10 to 25% of these high value women. So it's just the distribution isn't 1-to-1.
Oh no.
Right?
Well, that's interesting. Because, like, I feel like, no, but at the same time, maybe a guy's dating multiple women, but then this one, like, multiple rich dudes. So I feel like in that way, kind of balanced. But it was just funny when you said, I don't think a guy in the 1% would, would shy against dating multiple women. And I thought about it, like, yes, if I was a 1% well-off gentleman, and I said,
would you get married? Like,
I have all of these women throwing themselves at me. I think I shall settle for one.
right? But age comes, dude. Like the more I see like remarried, like divorcees and who get married later, the age gap. There's always that age gap of the man being considerably older than the woman. But then maybe when that man was making the same kind of money 20 years ago, he wasn't looking for the one woman at the time. Like he was, maybe. I don't know.
X.
Right? And now he's
That's the thing. That's the thing.
So like the age comes into the man too. It's like eventually, yeah, they're gonna want to settle down because they realize, the Dan Bilzerian life isn't something they want to maintain for the rest of their lives. But does that mean all these 20, 25-year-old women are gonna be looking at 50, 60-year-old men to be able to,
Hey, sugar daddies are a real thing.
They are a real thing. Only one of them wanted to be a sugar mama. That was it. Sigma males are the way to go. Mike says, makes sense, like DiCaprio.
Sigma.
Alright. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I had to look up
Right.
Sigma male the other day. It's like alpha but introverted. Doesn't care what anyone else says. I feel like a lot of us are Sigmas. But anyway, we just don't make crazy money. I don't even know what a Sigma male is. Oh, dude, just Google it. It's basically the lone wolf. It's a lone wolf. Alpha male, same kind of like can lead, doesn't have to like, doesn't require or doesn't depend on anybody else. But the only difference is they are not the type to want to always command. They want to be solo. That's a Sigma. Sigma male is like the lone wolf type of person. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, I thought this was going to be the holiday one, but we didn't touch anything on Christmas. But Merry Christmas to everybody this weekend. Happy holidays for those who don't celebrate Christmas. Hopefully, I'll have another one on Thursday to round the year off. That will be BrackCast 84. And then, yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Peace out, everyone. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right, peace out. Yes, peace out.
Later.